walk you through building a project from scratch. First thing I did, which I didn't show you, is I created a new instance and named it, and I selected the blank blueprint. Zesty add-ons. We're going to be building a little add-on manager for a product. So first thing I did, open manager. This is my empty instance. This blank starts with some items I don't really want. I don't want page. I don't want sidebar contact. So I'm going to jump into schema and just delete those so they're not there to get started. So delete, yes, delete that. I also don't want simple page. Delete that. Okay, so now we're back here. Really important, this is your dashboard. I just have a home page now. I want to keep my globals. These are basically like items that I can use anywhere. So if I call the site name Zestio add-ons, right, footer text, I could just copyright 2019 Zestio platform link, right? Save that. I'm going to publish my first version so I can access it. And homepage doesn't really have anything. So when I go back to my dashboard, you have the two web engine URLs. I want to view my stage URL here. And you see there's literally like this really ugly nothingness here. Alright. So I'm going to put this over here. Okay. So I designed out what I want to put here, and a couple things I want to have on the site. So first I'm going to go to the schema and I'm going to build out the content model that's most important here. And I'm going to select the group review and I'm just going to call this add-ons. Alright, and you see it's got the reference name. I'm going to just make it shorter, and I'm going to want a top level. So make this name. I'm going to do GitHub URL. I'm going to make this an external. I'm actually going to leave this as an open field because I'm not sure exactly what this is going to look like. We can have a description. Select WYSIWYG area. And I'm going to have tags as well, which is going to be also a group review. I'm just going to call it tags. Essentially, tags will have a page. So I select group review because I want to have a view in the website. And just tags will just have a name. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into add-ons and I'm going to add a one-to-many field. That way I can add tags. This will just be called tags, and I need to select the set, tags, name. Good, so we added that. So now we have a content model. It's going to have a name, a GitHub URL, description, tags. We're going to add one more for image. May have multiple images here, but we'll just start with one for now. I think in the order I kind of want image up top. And I'm going to let tags have a description as well. Okay. So now we have two content models that have views for Web Engine. You have add-ons and tags. And we have our home page, which was the default, and if we just look at our home page, right now it has a title, some text, and a main image. That's fine. We might change that later. So I'm going to jump into my settings, and I'm going to turn on some of the developer settings, which is the JSON APIs and cores. That way I can access this information externally. So let's look at content. We now have homepage, add-ons, and tags. So let's add some tags first. One tag is going to be an extension. This extends Zestio instance into another software or other fun things. And you can see it's like building out the SEO stuff, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to create that, and then I'm going to create another one. I call this one integration. Integrates resist the IO instance into third-party software. For example, Google Analytics. Clean that up, and you'll see it again creating my tags. And we notice like this is going to have a preview URL, but there's nothing here because we've done nothing to this view. So I just added 2 tags, integration and extension. And let's add one add-on item. Let's call this Google Tag Manager. I don't have this yet, but I'm going to say create settings to auto include Google Tag Manager scripts into your web engine. And then tags, I'm going to say that's an integration, so now you see things are starting to connect. I'm going to create this item, I'll publish it. So let's look at my preview again. We're going to just see blank pages, but we'll notice that something's starting to route here, right? So now we're going to jump into editor and we're going to put some information on those blank pages. So we got add-ons here. We'll just type hello world. Let's see. There we go. Hello world. So I'm editing the add-ons view. Hello world. So notice our route here is to tag manager. Let's see if I can get the name, and this is how I do it. I type this because it's relative to the object it's on. Name. Save. Google Tag Manager, great. And if I want to make that an H1, etc. Alright, now we get an H1, and let's go ahead and just pop in our description too. Since this is a WYSIWYG, it's going to be wrapped already in like a P tag, so I'm not going to add anything. You may just want to like wrap it in a div. And sometimes some of the CSS platforms or frameworks use class content common, so there you go. And if I inspect this guy, we'll see I have Google Tag Manager and content, and there's a paragraph inside of there. Okay, close that. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to use a framework called Bulma, and I'll just go CDN.js for it. I'll kind of include this the quick way. So we got the min CSS. I'm going to end up wanting to do this a little bit different later, but let's just do this for the time being. So inside the editor, we have loader, and this loader file is special. It's the first file that loads every time a content item's accessed. So when I'm accessing Google Tag Manager here, I could say like hello, and that's going to load above every view, no matter what. Hello. And now integrations is going to load hello just because it's there. So that's ideal when like you want to load a header in every page. So let's do that. I'm going to create a snippet called header, and I'm going to say hello. And now I can go back to my loader, and I could say include header, and now that header will be loaded on every page, and I have a single place to edit this that's separate. So hello, hello. Now let's finish adding Bulma, excuse me. So why do I want to show you this? Because I'm going to add it here above everything. And let's see if I can remember the link tag. Link href. I think it's type CSS. Text / style sheet maybe. I'm gonna Google this. Let's see what happened. Nope. Alright, let's do this. That's really good. Here we go. Aria style sheet. The href, right? Let's see if it's starting to adapt these styles. It is. So just saw it pick up the styles. I know Bulma, so I do know that H1 doesn't really do much. You need to actually have a class on it. Cool. So it's starting to apply. So now I can just go to Bulma, and I'm going to steal their navigation. Nav Bar. Straight up. Let's just jack this. This is just for an example purpose. So we're going to go on the header. Just paste that. Let's see how it works. And there we go. Refresh. See what it loads here. It's obviously not perfect. Let's start building around it. So Bulma has a lot of stuff to work from. Basically, we want to get layout going. We want to start with following the container setup that we have. This container. So let's drop this in there. So you can Command A, Command Alt, and Shift Tab, and that'll clean up the text. Alright, so we're starting to get a decent page now. I have other things like heroes and headings and whatnot, so we can get like a micro hero to here. Let's try this guy. Let's wrap our H1 inside of this hero. And subtitles here. I could do something where I like strip out the HTML, which is kind of something I do want to do here. Follow this. So I can say strip tags. Start to end, or just try to catch everything. You have to put in this, let's say 10,000. And that was H2 class was, oh no, that's right. Save and see what page looks like now. Okay. Alright, so now this has tags, and we're going to do a thing with the loop through tags. So if you remember, I created a tag section, so let's go into Bulma, let's steal some sort of element, so tags, tag, cool way, I like the style right here, okay. So let's just add it here. So we're gonna this is Parsley, so we're gonna write an each loop, and we'll say tags as tag where, and we're gonna do a find and set. So find and set goes into the haystack. So we're gonna go this tags. It's gonna be like ZID. wrap the tag in here. And tag now knows what I have access to, so I can set tag name. I think that's the way we're going to want it. And just say like, I don't know, V1 or something. Let's see what we get. Okay. Integration.v1, which doesn't make any sense. Well, let's say is info. I think we could change this from this primary to this info to get to blue. And we'll just say is dark. Tag. Okay, cool. So now it's a tag, right? Let's just show you an example of how this is going to work by adding another tag. So tags, let's add a tag called analytics, because there will be lots of things with analytics. This connects to that's fine for now. I'll publish that. So let's look at our add-ons with Google Tag Manager, and then we're going to add analytics. Hit save, and in our preview, we now have two tags. It's not the way I want it though. I want them next to each other like this. It looks like they need to go to this. Okay, so I think that will do it. Let's just double check the code over here. This gets wrapped inside of control, so we need to add a control in this loop as well. And select all, Shift Tab, clean it up. So, okay, cool. So now we have something nice coming together. So I don't know whether I love the way that looks, but this isn't bad. If we had more full description, we could do it here. If we notice, like here, obviously we don't want some of this default information. So that gets us started. You kind of see as things start to build out. If we go to our home page, see that there's like, it's literally nothing here, but this header is starting to show, which is pretty cool. So if we wanted to loop through, say, like all the add-ons on the home page, we could do that. Let's just do that before we jump into using the add-on editor. I'm going to steal some code from over here. Got this container. Just steal this. I don't want any of that default code. Just drop this and say this. This should autocomplete what's on my home page. So I have title, and this is going to be content. And notification I don't really want. Let's look at Bulma to see if there's some sort of like list we can leverage. Table. So that might be okay somewhere else. Let's see. Cards. Cards are pretty cool. So basically, the inspiration I'm kind of drawing from is the Chrome Web Store, which essentially is like all their extensions. So I kind of like the idea of the cards here. Let's just steal this card setup. It's a lot of markup, but maybe we can cut it down. So that's in one container there. I'm going to start a new container. So maybe I want to pick a different color later. Paste in that. Let's see if my card is now loading. Homepage. It's a big card. And Bulma has crazy rows. Let's look at columns. Basics, responsive. Let's just do this. So now I'm going to reach through my add-ons. just need one of these columns in here. Just gonna cherry pick some of this information. Card, I guess, and all of it. That's all inside of a column. Clean it up. So what's going to happen here is it's going to loop through all of my cards, all of my add-ons, excuse me. But I only have one add-on, so it really should just show one giant add-on, which is really what we're looking for. So let's just start changing that by adding another add-on. So we have a GraphQL one as well, so we can add GraphQL. Sets instance up to work with GraphQL out of the box. And my tags would be, I guess that would be an extension. Great. Now let's refresh here. So now I have two cards being made. Let's get the card information in there so we're not confused. So this has this image. Let's say media left. Basically, I don't know if we're going to have an image here, but so let's just say if add-on.image and this would be the image for the add-on. Let's go with this card or something like that. That's his card. Let's go. I think it's just name. Refresh. So now we have things in here. So if card.image, you need to say, do you have access to this image? This is the home page. So we have both of these. We have this big image too. We need to do something about. I guess we can replace this with the description. Tags down there. Let's just go card.description, and we can do like substring. You can also do subwords, which is kind of nice. So you could say I only want to show 10 words of the description. Okay, there you go, and then I'll do this timestamp. That. Okay, so now we're getting something going on here. Let's make these so these are linkable to their page. So, page reference. And when you're in a loop on an object, on a content model object, you just say card dot, not name, sorry, get URL. Right. Refresh this. Now we have a link to this page. And now we're starting to build out like a section. Create a link to the home page or whatnot. This should probably be a link to the home page, not Bulma's home page for now. So we just change that to that. And let's just steal this STIL. So that brings us to our home. You see we're starting to build out like a full page, full site. It's just pretty cool. So now I'm gonna say I want to bring this out. Say I want to compile my Bulma, not just from including it. I want to start customizing information on it. So what I want to do is I want to bring this external, so you can actually do external editing. So how you do that is you need to create a directory. So I'm going to open up my terminal, change directory to code /sdio, emitter, call this SD add-ons. Then I can just do I'm going to open this in Atom. I'll try changing to dot. I'm going to make a file, and if you see here, you're going to make a file zesty.json. Oops. File. zesty.json. I'm going to paste in. So it's getting my token in my zoo. Once you've done this once, you can log in through the interface. So I'm going to reload this. What's going on? And you can see it's connecting. It's building out what we call zesty.json as a mapping to the file into Zooids. This may change in the future, and you don't have to worry about it. But let's see now what we have here. So this is the add-on. This is the home page. So if we click to the home page, we have something else you're going to want to get to. There's a Parsley highlighter here. Alright, so this title, etc. This is my home page. Let's just say I want to add like H1, another title just for the purpose of demoing this. Hello world. There you go. So it's pretty instant. So you get this like cloud preview instantly. You can't publish from here. You have to publish from inside the app, but you can pretty much do a lot of coding here. That's important to note here is you have scripts and style sheets. So if I go on my script and type like alert, whatever, hello world, just to show you that this is going to execute. Refresh. Hello world. Right, so that's piping directly in. We also have our style sheet here. So if I said body, background, color, black, important. Let's see if this comes through. Looks like it's not getting through. That's because the body is not across. Let's see if we can do it some point. Should be compiling, but if not, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm going to move the hello world lesson. Okay, so just jumping around this, if I click in the add-ons here, and I highlight this Parsley, and I open this, it's going to show me different previews I have access to see this in, which is kind of important. Makes life easy, so I can click into the tag manager preview and the GraphQL preview. It's pretty convenient. If you have a bunch of different items that it's connected to, they'll show here. You'll see our loaders in here as well. And that's pretty much what goes on with the external editing. So if I was to change this here, oops, right? I like this changes in here. I have to close this file out and reload it in order to see the change. So be careful with that. If you're like editing simultaneously back and forth, like note that it's not going to just automatically update here unless you close the file out and reopen it. So now the other way around, it doesn't work. So if you were to edit over here, hit save, even if you close this file and reopen it, it's not going to sync back down. So you have to be careful. Once you start editing locally, this file state remains the same on your local machine. So you could overwrite back and forth. So something just to be aware of as you start editing locally. So that's it for project setup. I'm going to keep working on this, but I hope this helps.